Let's jump back into the Arizona Cardinals. I haven't talked about my hometown Arizona Cardinals for a little bit. I love to feed the baby birds that have followed me early in the Arizona Cardinals spectrum of sports and the Arizona sports landscape. And there's a lot of early buzz, and I've seen this before, and let's just talk about it. There are Cardinals fans that are going way overboard. And there's Cardinals media that's going way overboard. But let me just be honest. I get it. It is July 23rd. Depending when you're seeing this, July 24th. Not a ton of things to talk about in the sports calendar. But there is a time in which in the sports calendar you're just kind of making up stuff. And at this point, this has started to teeter over the side of unrealistic for the Arizona Cardinals. And more specifically, Kyler Murray. There has been a large audience within the Cardinals fan base, within the Cardinals media, that Kyler Murray could be an MVP candidate this year. Let me explain to you why that's not going to happen. Kyler Murray, instead of placing the expectations on him of potential MVP candidate, let's just ask of him to be good in big games. Let's just ask of him to stay healthy. I'm a huge believer in the Arizona Cardinals. I'm one of those people that believes this team can be a playoff fringe team. I believe this team is a fringe playoff team. I don't think that's outlandish expectations. I don't think that that's crazy. And here's what I will say. I believe this Cardinals team will be a playoff team. I believe they'll be the 7th seed in the NFC. And here's why. It's unrealistic for you to have MVP expectations for Kyler Murray. It is realistic for you to have playoff aspirations for the Arizona Cardinals. Because the Arizona Cardinals are well run. Since I've been alive, despite the Bruce Arians era, and I won't even call it the Bruce Arians Steve Keim era, because it was mostly Steve Keim riding the coattails of Bruce Arians. This team is the most well-run they've ever been. And well-run organizations do not topple over and become just garbage. And the Kyler Murray MVP stuff isn't necessarily fair. Because this team has a lot of issues defensively and some issues potentially offensively. Who knows, James Conner could hit a running back wall. We're not so sure about Trey Benson. The offensive line, Paris Johnson Jr. moving over to the left side. There's some question marks. Not big ones, but some question marks. And on that defensive side, question marks legitimately everywhere. From secondary to front seven. Questions everywhere. So this Cardinals team, even if Kyler Murray has an outstanding season, even if he reaches the likes of his 2020 season, this team will not be good enough to be able to award Kyler Murray the MVP trophy. That's what I think are unrealistic expectations. So there's that side of the pendulum. And then there's this side of the pendulum. ESPN ranked the future power rankings of NFL teams, going all the way out to 3 years. The Cardinals were ranked 28th. And largely in it was as team goes as Kyler Murray goes. Are we sure? This team, I get it. If you haven't been following the Arizona Cardinals, you just lean on the side of dysfunction. But for the reasons why Kyler Murray will not be an MVP this year, because this team just isn't good enough in terms of skill-wise to be able to warrant a potential MVP trophy, you just are going to have to be a better team. They're not going to be awful, or in this case, in ESPN's future power rankings, the 28th team in the NFL for years to come. It's too well run. Well-run organizations are not at the bottom 5 of teams in the NFL. Head coach Jonathan Gannon, you just haven't been paying attention, ESPN. He is riding the ship of this Arizona Cardinals team. So when I see on this list, and when it reverts to coaching staff, and I see Jonathan Gannon as the 30th ranked head coach, you're just not paying attention. And then simultaneously throwing Antonio Pierce at 29th. That is an issue. I'd rather people just admit they don't watch the Arizona Cardinals. So there's unrealistic expectations and there's realistic expectations for the Cardinals. An unrealistic expectation is Kyler Murray MVP year. That's unrealistic. They're likely not going to be good enough and warrant a chance for Kyler Murray to win an MVP. The two things we just need we need to see from Kyler Murray. Can he stay healthy? And can he play well in big games? Because he's had those issues before. I believe he can, but we have to see it on the field. That's unrealistic MVP aspirations. Don't put too much on the guy that we just want to see other things before that first. And then simultaneously, the Cardinals, the years of and the days of the Cardinals being a debacle of a franchise are out the door. They have the right guys in place, Monty Ossenfort, Jonathan Gannon. They will never be, in the tenure of those two guys, ranked the 28th best team in the NFL for years to come, according to ESPN's Future Power Rankings. That will never happen because well-run organizations do not topple over. They go 500. Maybe they go a game or two under 500. But when was the last time the Pittsburgh Steelers were a debacle? Or the Baltimore Ravens? Well-run organizations don't have those days. And the Arizona Cardinals are just well-run.